Donald Trump's life as a billionaire real estate tycoon is a typical example of some of the things that can be achieved when you have amassed a lot of wealth. But you may be wondering, where did the former president's wealth come from, and on what things does he splurge his fortune? Well, keep watching and you'll find out shortly. We would not be able to fully talk about the billionaire lifestyle that Donald Trump is currently living without first going back to where it all started, the Frederick Trump Empire. Frederick Trump, Donald's grandfather, used to bear that name until it was anglicized to Trump. That's right, but with no high school diploma and not even a single amount of money to his name, Frederick surprisingly made a lot of money, and one can only wonder how. Frederick started his wealth-amassing journey when he opened a few restaurants, hotels, and bars in Canada during the Gold Rush era. And after gathering a total of $600,000 of profits from his businesses, Frederick moved to New York and started investing in real estate, making a name for himself in the industry. Further down the line, Donald's father, Fred Trump, also started making money through the real estate industry, and he's who Donald should partly thank for his billion-dollar net worth that he proudly wears now. Fred built a real estate empire in various places across New York City boroughs, which consisted of 27,000 apartments and row houses. During World War II, he constructed apartments for servicemen in Virginia and Pennsylvania. He is also known to have built the first ever supermarket in the United States. He engaged in many more businesses, and from all of that, he loaned Donald Trump a total of $1 million. Although Donald would say that he built his billion-dollar empire from this loan, sources show that his father had already given him more than just the loan. The New York Times once reported that Donald Trump was already a millionaire by the time he was 8 years old. Not only that, but Fred's company was earning a total of $200,000 yearly for Donald when he was just 3. Would you imagine that? Further insights also show that when Donald graduated from college, Fred was giving him $1 million every year. At this point, it's clear that Donald's father played a huge role in contributing to his billion-dollar empire, as financial records also show that Donald received nothing less than $413 million from Fred's real estate empire returns. The initial plan was for Donald to follow in the footsteps of the real estate empire both his father and grandfather had been creating since time immemorial. But when Donald's dad was in the real estate business, Fred was receiving funds through a government program. And when Donald sought to do the same, the government had already canceled the program. But luckily for Donald, his dad lent him some money to start his real estate business since he wanted to go into it so badly. Sources say that after a while, Donald inherited a quarter of his father's company and then used that money to invest in Manhattan. At some point, Donald moved from building residential apartments to sparkly units just like the Trump Tower situated on Fifth Avenue. Among his shiny projects were the casinos he opened, one in Atlantic City called the Trump Taj Mahal. This casino was estimated to be a total worth of $1.2 billion. Although his casinos did not do as great as he had hoped they would. You should know that Trump has failed several times with his businesses, and he's even filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy 6 times. But in the end, real estate worked out for him, and the Trump Organization, which is entirely owned by him, is said to have a total worth between around $600 and $700 million, even though Trump inflated his revenue and claimed it was a total of $9.5 billion. We aren't surprised, though, as this isn't the first time Trump is exposed on how he inflated numbers. Remember the 2016 presidential election? Yeah, Donald claimed to have a total net worth of $10 billion. But both Forbes and Bloomberg estimated his net worth to be between $4.5 and $2.9 billion, respectively, back then. Currently, Donald Trump's net worth is estimated to be at $3.2 billion, according to Forbes. Having said that, you really shouldn't be surprised to hear that Donald Trump spends in a way that screams, "I'm really rich." And if you're curious to know how he does that, follow me. According to campaign finance disclosures, Trump spent a total of $65 million of his earnings to fund his presidential campaign in 2016. And with extra funds from private donors, Donald's largest campaign expenses summed up to be a total of $192 million, which he spent on digital, online, and traditional advertisements. That's only the tip of the iceberg, though, as Donald's second biggest splurge is on his air travel, an area in which he spends roughly $26 million. If you're Donald Trump, you do not travel on a mere commercial flight, nor stay in line for so long just to travel by air. You have a fleet of private aircraft, which include 3 helicopters, a commercial-sized airplane, and a corporate jet. Trump's largest aircraft is the Boeing 757, which he's rumored to have acquired back in 2010 for a sum of $100 million. His jet, a Cessna, was purchased for a total of $15.3 million, and his 3 helicopters are not left out of the equation as they were bought for a sum ranging between $5 and $7 million each. Since Trump figured that the 757 was outdated, he made complete renovations to it, adding a bedroom and lush 24-karat gold interiors. Judging by how much he flaunts on his private aircraft, you can bet that his private residences are just as luxurious. Remember the famous 5th Avenue Trump Tower we previously told you guys about? Donald owns a 3-story penthouse that we describe as the King's Empire. This empire was designed by Angela Dong Jia and boasts luxurious marble floors across the 11,000 square foot apartment. And that's not all. The interior of this empire is to die for. It screams gold everywhere. In fact, the walls do contain gold-trimmed furniture, and the crystal chandeliers hang from frescoed ceilings. And when it's all said and done, the apartment is said to be worth between $64 and $100 million. We are certainly awed by the way Trump splurges his fortune, and we're sure you are too. Other than this king-fit apartment, Trump also owns a home in Beverly Hills, which he rarely makes use of. Consisting of 5 bedrooms and bagging an enviable zip code, sources say that Donald acquired this property for a sum of $7 million, fully in cash. Not only does this billionaire own residential apartments, but he also owns a private resort known as the Mar-a-Lago Club. Located in Palm Beach, Florida, this resort is rumored to cost taxpayers a sum between $1 and $3.6 million, depending on who you ask. Bottom line is, Donald does not hesitate to splurge on his property acquisitions. On top of all this, we're not surprised that Trump keeps his closet as luxurious as he does his properties. He owns a crazy amount of fashionable attire, and his favorite brands do not come cheap. The cost of the Italian Brioni suit he wears ranges from $5,000 to $6,000. The brand used to supply Trump with suits he wore for the reality TV show The Apprentice, and afterwards, during his presidential campaign, he began paying for them. Just so you know, the shirts cost a total of $595 a pop. And when it's all said and done, Donald still prefers that his outfits are customized and styled for his purchase alone. That means that it's only limited to him and no one else can purchase them. Certainly, you need to have a lot of money like being a billionaire, to be able to live up to Donald Trump's tastes. His tastes don't end at the outfits, but also extends to his car collection. I mean, we would be worried if he didn't have a fleet of cars that flaunts just how luxurious he can be. We know that Donald has a collection of luxurious rides. He's a huge fan of Rolls-Royce and started owning a vintage 1956 Silver Cloud, which is the most expensive ride in his collection. He also owns a 2015 Rolls-Royce Phantom, which costs $500,000, as well as a Maybach, a Mercedes S600, and of course, a Ferrari. He even bought an SLR McLaren that boasts a $455,000 price tag for Melania. Amongst Trump's luxurious rides is a $30 million yacht, which he named the Trump Princess. This 100-cabin yacht can contain up to 52 members, and its interiors are entirely covered with bird's-eye maple and Kenmore leather. This yacht is the epitome of luxury, as Donald preaches comfort and lavishness over everything else since he has the money. Well, that's all we have for you today on how Trump lives and spends his fortune. Hope you enjoyed watching this as much as we enjoyed making it. Which part of his spending habits do you find surprising? Make sure to share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and tap the bell icon so you can get notifications about any future videos.